Welcome to Walker Tea Review. I'm Jason Walker, and we've got a tea today that is named more after it's a region. It's a kind of a historical tea. It's one of the teas that was supposedly the kind of tea supposedly tossed off the off of ships during Boston Tea Party. So let's take a look at this tea and explore it a little bit together. You see, we've got our basic, rudimentary, really classic tea equipment here. We've got our gaiwan, a Chinese style of preparing tea, just a water kettle, and we've got our tea here in a teaspoon. Tea towels are handy, soaking up any little drops. So we're going to get out a tea sample here. Open up our lid, and I'm going to use a pretty healthy dose of tea. I've got here about a teaspoonful. When you pour that into your gaiwan, that nearly covers the bottom, and so I add just a pinch more. Kind of the general-ish rule of thumb is coat the bottom plus a little more. Sometimes people say a third more. So our water's been brought to a boil, or close to a boil, and it's cooled for just about 30 seconds or so. So it's still nice and warm. This is closest to a black tea. Actually, it is a black tea, so that gives us, we want higher temperatures for that. And I've added enough water here so that when I put my lid on, yes, a little bit of water rises up above the rim, and that kind of creates a seal that allows that tea to steep a little more nicely. So I'm going to set that aside. The saucer underneath, of course, if any water does spill over, it gets caught into the saucer. Let's talk about this tea now. This is from TeasEtc. This is their Bohea. That's the dictionary pronunciation, Bohea, B-O-H-E-A. This is their TeasEtc's Bohea Organic. 1 ounce for $7.95. This is a small sample size. TeasEtc is good about, when you place an order with them, they will, if you ask for a few samples, they will provide samples of other teas. So that's something that may be an advantage. Another advantage is that this is an organic, a USDA certified organic tea. And let's go ahead and look at this tea and kind of explore run it through its paces of the dry leaf, the wet leaf, and the liquor. First off, you get that piney smoke smell, and that smoky smell is pretty intense. If you've ever had a lapsang souchong, it's very similar in smell to that. Because those are dried, or I should say, withered. There's a process through which they're placed over the pine needles and the pine wood, and so that smell rises up and it gets absorbed into the leaf. Talking about this leaf, though, it is broken or chopped. It comes in, so you're getting leaf sections. They are crinkled, along the vein, middle vein of the leaf. Some of these are kind of crunched up almost into a more compact lateral or crumpled paper wad kind of thing. Not rounded or balled like some oolongs are, but still quite a bit of rolling type process going on there. They are kind of a seal brown, a grayish brown in color, and you will get a few stem pieces here and there, just through the way this tea and, like I said, similar lapsang souchongs are processed. There will be some stem elements in there on occasion. Now let's go to this tea, because I think we have enough there that we've had time to get a brew that's steeped well. Tea towels out to catch any drips. Place my cup here, and I'm going to angle my lid ever to the lower part is over here, and I can put my fingers on like this and pour. Getting a nice, slow, smooth pour, but I'm not getting a lot of leaves in my cup because I've got a narrower opening there. Get those last few drops, because at the bottom, that's the most intense or some of the strongest tea that you have. So let's set that to the side now. We can talk a little bit about our wet leaf. Smells are already carrying out through from the liquor and from the tea itself. The tea leaves here, strong, smoky pine type of smell. It's got a bit of a cooling sensation to it, just like a pine forest type of smell has an element of kind of a cooling sensation on the nose. That's what you're getting here. And that is I'll say the only real significant, dominant smell is pine smoke, pine tar, those kind of burned pine needle, burning pine needle smells. And your leaves, not a lot has changed here. You still have the same leaf portions. They've lightened up a little bit. They've gotten a little bit more reddish in color. The leaf portions have kind of unfurled a little bit, and so you're getting these have opened up some, but not really much to add on to as far as changes in the shape or color of the leaf. These leaves are not going to be. These are not going to be they're not going to be the highest quality that you're going to be able to unfurl and take apart like a fine green or like a whole leaf oolong kind of tea. These leaves are chopped up so that they can oxidize, they can ferment more quickly and release those black tea kind of characteristics. So setting that aside, put that over here. We can go now to our liquor. Inside our cup, we're using a cup here that is white on the inside so that we can look at that color. You're getting a close to a red tea, or close to a black tea rather. At first impressions, it does look a little bit lighter than some of your more richer, some of your black teas, standard tea bag type of black teas, but generally on par with that. It smells again consistent with our dry leaf and our wet leaf. Still that burning pine needle kind of smells. Okay, in the mouth, of course, you're getting that pine type of, those piney smells, also the piney aromas in there. But what's happening is, with several Lapsang Souchongs, they can have a bittery, well, not a bitter, but a tart, a pretty tart bite to them, which has its appeal if you are attracted to very, intense tart type of taste, like sour tart type of taste. This one, however, is much smoother. That tartness is mellowed off, so it's gentler, to the point that I would say there's not really a lot of tartness to this. With that tartness out of the way, you get this, you get that wood sensation, that oaky kind of feel in the mouth. It's like you're chewing on a piece of wood. Combine that with, it's got nearly a velvety, it's got a smooth kind of texture to it. Okay. You slurp your teas to get more of the aromas released, so that the air travels up into your sinuses, your nose, and your sense of smell detects a lot. You smell what you taste, really. in a lot of cases. Still a nice coating on the mouth. Still carries on. That oaky feel becomes almost like a slightly buttery sweet sensation, and that's especially towards the middle to back of the mouth and the tongue, I should say. Aftertaste is still going on, and it mellows into a nearly chocolate. How could I say that in a different way? It continues to get a kind of milk chocolatey, so it's got a bit of sweetness. The dryness is coming out, a little bit of astringency is coming out, and you get this kind of white chocolate buttery cream kind of feel. Gentle though, like you've just finished one. Like you've just finished a white chocolate piece. So, when you look at this tea as a whole, it's not fully comparable with a Lapsang Souchong. It doesn't have that tart, zingy bite that you look for with some of the Lapsang Souchongs. This one is smoother. It has a more sweeter, like I said, oaky, almost cream kind of feel in the back of the mouth. So those things are positives going for it. It does have that pine tar, pine smoke, pine needle element in the aroma, but it's the texture and the aftertaste is where this one really stands out, I would say, more than a Lapsang Souchong. Okay, so giving all that, we would give this tea a 91 because it brings a lot of positive characteristics, and that still carries on a very noteworthy, appealing body and aftertaste. Please come back and join us. Perhaps this isn't what if you're looking for a Lapsang Souchong, something with that tart to it. Come back, because we do look at Lapsang Souchongs on occasion. This week we do have a GABA tea. If that's something unique to you, check it out. Also a Yunnan black tea here at Walker Tea Review.